Mhm. The silence is very profound, and in this silence, we can truly go to a place inside that's connected with higher energy, nurture ourselves. I mean, I remember Rudy talking about years ago people suffering from spiritual malnutrition. And he would say that's why all this craziness goes on in the world. There's not being connected to higher energy. Everybody's functioning from ego, from their thoughts, their mind, what they think is right or wrong, how the world should run. And you have all this chaos, and if the heart opens and people function with love, with compassion, with forgiveness is a big one. Everything changes. The way we see the world changes. How we interact with people changes. We're no longer more important than everyone else, but we listen to people and we allow everyone that we meet to teach us something that we need to learn to grow. It's a whole different way of approaching life. And in order to approach life that way, we have to experience within ourselves gratitude, love, our own self-worth as human beings, our own right to be happy, big one, just to be a happy person every day. I mean, I hear people all the time, well, the world is going to come to an end and this and that. And I kind of chuckle. Well, it's the only way the world is going to come to an end is if everybody learns how to keep their heart open. And if everybody is capable of keeping their hearts open, understand, it will nurture the soul. The soul will find a state of enlightenment, and there'll be no more need for karma. The world will come to an end. It will just dissolve into love. Well, that's not going to happen for at least 100 million lifetimes. So I wouldn't worry about the world coming to an end. What I would, focus on is one's own inner growth, nurturing the soul, nurturing our connection with God, higher energy, building the strength inside so that we can keep our hearts open and we can finally work out all of this karma that we have to work out and become one with higher energy in the universe. That's why we're born here, to learn how to do this. So if anyone ever tells you the world is going to come to an end, they better open their hearts. That's how the Does anyone have a question they would like to ask?
Stuart, I have a question.
Yes, Bob.
How best to work with forgiving oneself?
Well, honestly, the best way to do that, Bob, is at some point you have to recognize that you need to move on in your life. You need to move on. You need to overcome obstacles, blocks, anger, resentment in yourself, guilt, fear. And the only way you're going to do that is you have to get strong enough inside to say, okay, I made a mistake. I made a mistake. I can go apologize to somebody. I can say I'm sorry. And I can also work on myself to get strong enough not to be, intimidated, trapped, hindered by the mistake I once made in your life. And you forgive yourself. You get strong enough to get your heart open and say to yourself, okay, I made a mistake. What did I learn from that mistake? What did I learn from blowing that thing in my life? What did I learn from being angry at somebody else? And if you just ask yourself those questions, you're going to forgive yourself. And you say, I got to move on. I cannot be trapped in being angry at somebody who did something to me, a year ago, or some mistake that I made a year ago that hurt somebody else. And it kind of frees you from the one person you got to get free of, and that's yourself. It's a major step in your inner development, learning how to say, I forgive myself. And we've all made mistakes. We've all hurt people. We've all done stupid things in life. It's not limited to, one or two people. This is an illness that plagues the entire human race. And there's so much chaos and conflict in the world because nobody learns how to forgive, which means we're all stuck. We can't move on. We can't evolve. We can't grow. And I think that is not a good place to be. And it's a place that none of us want to be. So we just have to get strong enough to say, okay, I made a mistake. I can forgive myself for doing that. Otherwise, nothing moves in life. Everything hides behind grudges and anger and I think forgiveness is one of it's like, even in the Bible, one of the greatest books ever written, but forgive them, they know not what they do. I mean, Christ is nailed to a cross. Can you imagine? And those are his last words. Forgive them, they know not what they do. I mean, to me, that was shocking when I read that. It was extraordinary. And we have to say to ourselves, I forgive myself because I really did not know what I was doing. I was an unconscious person at the time. I have more consciousness now, and I have to say, okay, you made a mistake. I forgive myself. I have to move on. Does anyone else have a question you'd like to?
Thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome, Bob. I mean, it's the first step towards learning how to live with joy in your heart, with love in your heart, forgiveness. Does anyone else have a question? Okay, if there are no more questions, God bless you all. And thank you. And I say it at the end of every class. I'll repeat it again. I am so grateful to sit here with all of you and to learn the things I learn in every class that I teach here. I never thought it would be Zoom that would also make this kind of thing possible. I'm not, when it comes to computers, I have to forgive myself all the time. I have no idea what I'm doing, you know, but it's amazing. And God bless you all. Thank you. And I hope you don't leave it here. Take it all with you. Take this energy with you. And I don't mean when you go into the kitchen or you go out and you're doing the double breathing exercise. The energy, take it with you. Don't leave it here. because it's really something very sacred. And it transforms the world we live in into something sacred. So God bless you all and thank you. And there'll be class tomorrow evening. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Good night.